we have to make sure we are on the ridge. So you don't set your teeth out of the ridge. This is the ridge. So you can see that is the ridge. So we're gonna put the neck of the tooth on top of the ridge. You can see here. And then you close your table. Check the angulation, check it's touching, it's slightly tilted. You can make sure we are on the same level with the other side when you cut it. And then you check the angulation from the inner side as well. You take your base out and try to make sure it is about 10 millimeter from the center of the incisive papilla. Then we place it back. Support the tooth with a bit of wax before you start your second tooth. Then you go to the lateral, cut your wax so you can expose the ridge fully. If you want to see you are on the ridge, take the whole wax out. Then you can place it again. This is the ridge. To make sure you are in the ridge. The neck of the lateral incisor should be slightly in, more depressed, and long axis of the lateral should be tilted distally and more inclined than the central. The central incisor should be touching the occlusal plate, and the long axis of the tooth is slightly tilted distally. The lateral incisor should be not 0.5 millimeter off the occlusal plate and more inclined, long axis more inclined distally. Now we cut for the canine. Also, we have to make sure we are in the ridge all the time. We have to make sure it is on the ridge as well. The neck of the canine should be slightly prominent, and the mesial plane of the tooth, we should be able to see it from the front view. And the long axis of the canine should be perpendicular to the occlusal plate, more or less straight. Then we have to make sure it's touching the plate. After that, we have to add a little bit of wax to support it in place. This red wax is very soft, so the minimum heat required, you don't have to heat it too much, otherwise you lose control over the wax. When you set your three centrals, just support them from the inner side, the palatal or the palate side. If you have access of the wax, just cut it or soften it to have more support. And do not move your work till it sets, otherwise the teeth moves. Then you go to the other side, the left side. From the palatal view, we should be able to see that all the incisal edge are in line and is in half round or following the curvature of the ridge, as well as we should not be able to see the neck of the teeth from this view. We should be able only to see the incisal edge on line together, and it should be round. Some of the mistakes are the straight. You can see them straight. That is wrong. You have to make sure they are following the curvature of the ridge. The central incisor of the lower, we have to set them perpendicular to occlusal plate. And the neck is slightly depressed. And we have to maintain the midline of the upper and lower. Then you support the tooth with a bit of wax. Overjet and overbite should be around 1 to 2 millimeter only. Some of the students, they do deep overjet and bite, and it's not right. You have to make sure you does not exceed the 2 millimeter for both overjet and overbite. Then you cut another piece of wax it's not tilted, it should be perpendicular. Occlusal plate. When we come to the canine, the canine should be, long axis of the canine should be slightly tilted distally, just slightly, and it should be higher of the incisal edge. The teeth should be all in line with each other of the incisal edge, and the canine should be slightly higher than the two centrals. We finish setting of the lower anterior teeth. We try to support them from the back. If you can use the pink wax, it's slightly harder, it's better. Make sure you support your teeth in place very well. I will quickly recap the inclination of the lower central teeth. The central incisors of the lower teeth and the lateral should be straight or perpendicular to the occlusal plate at the same level, and the canine should be slightly, long axis of the canine should be slightly tilted distally, and the canine cusp should be slightly higher than the centrals. We have to look at them as well from the lingual view, and should be all of them in line and leveled and curved. They are not straight, they are following the ridge as well as in the uppers, so please make sure they are curved and following the ridge. Overjet and overbite should be 1 to 2 millimeter. And no contact at all between the upper anterior teeth and the lower anterior teeth. There should be no contact at all, as you see. Before you start cleaning your teeth, you have to make sure all the angulation is right, and you have to wet slightly. If you feel your wax is too soft, then what you need to do, try to put it in water. Just go to the tap and put slightly in water, so it will harden the wax. Then you'll start wax up your wig.
I hope this video was beneficial for everyone. If you have any questions, please contact us. Thank you.